Okie dokie. We'll wait for everybody to pop in. I'm going to get organized. Hi, Diane. Hi, Kim. Can you hear me okay? You hear me? Perfect. Perfect, perfect. Okay, I'm trying to get my bearings. I was doing a tutorial and I'm just trying to figure out where I'm at here. Okay, so we have Diane and we have Kim. Kim, Kim and Diane, are you sewing along with me today? We have so much to go through because we missed that class. Holy cow. Oh, I need my instructions. Hi, Dawn. Dawn, are you sewing along with us today? Okay, so Diane's sewing along. Dawn. You're going to try to keep up? Awesome, Kim. And Dawn. Diane, your carpet bag looks amazing. Finished it early again. That's good. Okay, let me just get organized. What we need to do today. We need 2 of those. We're going to need these. And these. I didn't get my straps done, but we don't need them today, so that's okay. There they are. Okay. Hey, Nicole, how are you? Is your computer doing okay now? Nicole, you're watching or you're sewing with us? You're the master at this, so you're going to catch me in any mistakes that I make. That's your job today. I am going to put this on my phone so I have it over there. I'm almost organized. Hi, Alba. Okay, so you are, okay. Sounds good. Nicole sewing next class. Okay. So far I have Dawn, Diane, and Kim sewing along with me. What am I trying to do here? Again, I'm the only one home alone, so let's hope that the dogs behave themselves. I hear them going up and down the stairs, so. Okay. Chat. Okay, put this over here. So 5 minutes or so for more to pop in, and then we're going to hop right in. We have so much work to get through. It's not even funny. Oh my goodness. But I just finished doing my interfacing, so I'm just going to clean up all my interfacing because it's all like not even. How was everybody's week? I went back today and I actually watched my tutorial from 2 years ago on this bag. Holy moly, this was one of the first bags I did on my channel. And man, oh man, my videos have changed. So glad I have the new camera set up. So glad I have our microphone. Wow. So yeah, I will have started the channel 3 years ago come this March. It all started when COVID shut down. I did a few things on the channel, just some show and tell stuff for my clients, but never ever tutorials. I've got exciting news. I'm only like 249 subscribers away from 10,000, and I've already collected over I got over 20 businesses that have donated stuff for my big draw, so I have to get that all organized sometime this week too. Probably announce it first week of February or so, which is coming up pretty fast. So yeah, get your friends to subscribe. I need all the help I can get. Okay. We'll give it another 4 minutes or so, and then we're going to get started. I'm just getting all my interfacing cleaned up on these pieces we'll be working on today. Today we'll know if we will be doing a makeup class or not, and then we'll have to decide what day works. Or we just go longer, start earlier maybe next week if we need it. That works too. These pieces, these pieces, these pieces. What else do I need? These pieces. Everybody still there? The chat went super quiet. Where did my instructions go? I just had them right here. Still there? Good. All right. Are we ready to get started? I think I am somewhat organized. Somewhat. Where did my little scissors go? There. Okay, so today I want to get all of the exterior panels done. And then we'll probably be basting the foam on for homework. Maybe part of the lining, maybe. I don't know if we'll get that far. We'll at least get the gussets of the linings done. But yeah, we're going to get the front panel, the back panel, and the sides done today for sure. All right, let me change camera views here. Let's see how my view is. How is the view? Is it too bright? Is it okay? How are we looking? Are we staying in focus? I don't think it's doing an autofocus thing. No, I think we're okay. Does that look okay to everybody? Try and push everything out of the view so it's not so congested here. This is just my microphone. Push him back. There we go. All good? Looks okay? Okay, so we are going to start. Again, usually we start with our straps, but those are homework. We don't need the straps today, but we are going to get our connectors done. So if you're doing it like me, where the connectors are going to be dropping down, you're going to need those 4 rectangular rings and 4 extra connectors. And I just cut them the same size like we did last cutting class to our crossbody connectors. So we're going to prepare all of them today. So we should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of them today. It should be fast and easy. I think we all know how to do this. I'm going to do them all at once because I am going to chain stitch them. So we have center lines drawn down the center. We're going to use double-sided tape or clips, whatever your preference, and fold each of these long sides, whoops, into that center line. Get these out of the way so they're ready to go when we need them. I'm going to go ahead and do that with them all. I so wish I could have music on. This one. Everybody's quiet today. Holy. So Brady's now working full-time as well, so he's not home a lot of the time anymore. Riley's working, Dave's working. I'm home with the dogs alone a lot these days. Puppy has grown up a lot in the last week. He's very quiet, not as needy. House trained, so hopefully there's no accidents when I go upstairs. Coco's finally being nice to him. She was unsure of him for the last month or so, that's for sure. But yes, we're going to try to get as much as we possibly can get done today. I don't believe it's already February next week. Like, where did January go? Seriously. I'm 2 tutorials away from being completely caught up from being off with COVID, so I'm halfway there. And then I'm back on track. Has everybody voted for the March bag? So far, it looks like in March, the Itty Bitty Bowler Bag by Sew Yours, and what was the other one that's winning? Oh, and the modified Conan Bowler Bag, which I am going to show how to do it quilted. Those are the 2 that are winning right now. Wayfarer is really, really, really close behind the Conan one. So if you haven't voted, make sure you go over and do that for sure. Hi, Wanda. Are you sewing along with us today? I don't think you were making this one. I have an X by your name, so. Dawn's voted. Good. Now, say you voted for one of the bags that doesn't look like it's going to win. Maybe go back and vote for one of the top 2 for each day, so you end up getting one that you may like. Does that make sense? One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay. So now I'm going to take these to the machine, and I'm just going to top stitch down each side with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. I'm just going to go and I'm going to do that now. I know we all know how to do this. I don't know if my camera's set up properly. We will find out here. Ooh, look how dark that is. Let me fix that. For some reason, my cameras are not remembering their lighting. There we go. Oh, I'll take that down because my light is shining right on it. Move that back there. Okay. Oh, and I wanted to check my tension. Let me see. I swear my eyes are getting bad. Especially, it's getting dark outside and I can barely see. All right. Okay, so I'm just going to go and I'm going to do these all at the same time. Double check that your tension does indeed look good. I'm going to loosen it up a little bit. A little bit more. Okay, cool, Wanda. How is that looking? So I'm using 2 different vinyls, so of course my tension is going to be completely different with each one. Oops, that seems a little loose. There you go. So the reason I do this is just to save on my thread and cutting time when it's all the same. Make a little train. I think this is something that's done in quilting for sure. I've done it in quilting anyways. Get to the last one. I'm just going to turn at the end, go down on the short side. Also, I don't have to cut it because I'm lazy. My tension is wacky. This is the thread that I got from Pacana, and I just don't like it. There we go. There's Coco saying hi to everybody. So school's just gotten out at 4 o'clock here, so you can definitely, that's when the Coco starts barking. Okay, let me change over cameras. Where's my mouse? You're done, Dawn? Okay, split table. How's everybody else doing? Oh, I did my connectors 1 inch by 4 inches. Or sorry, I cut them 2 inches by 4 inches to fit a 1 inch connector. What size rectangular rings are you going to be using, Kim? If you're using 3/4 inch, you would cut them to 1.5 inches wide. I think. Pretty sure. Make sure I got all my hardware here. I had to put in an emergency Emmeline order because I'm almost out of antique brass, which is bizarre because I rarely use antique brass. You're doing 1 inch? Okay, yeah, so cut them 2 inches by 4 inches. And then when you fold them in, it makes a 1 inch. Okay. So now what we're going to do on the wrong side, we're going to put some double-sided tape, or you can just clip them, it's up to you, but you're going to end up putting your rectangular ring and D-rings over, folding them wrong sides together like so, and then once we have those all done, we can set them all aside for now. Kim, that could be because if you were following the pattern, this isn't how it's done in the pattern. This is a Brandy way of doing it. So that's probably why. You probably cut out the 2 for the crossbody strap, but not the 4 to make the straps flop down. I don't want my straps to stay upwards, but if you want yours to be like that, then don't worry about doing the connectors. It's completely up to you. But I usually make it so my straps will flop down, so I always modify it. But you do you, whichever way you want. If you don't want to cut them, then you can just put the handles in where we're going to be putting this and they'll stick up, just like the pattern. Whatever you want to do. Okay. So wrong sides together. Did I miss anybody else popping in? I don't think so. So we're just prepping these because we are going to connect these today. So we're just getting them out of the way because they're easy and fast. I hear Dexter going up and down the stairs. So Kim, are you going to do them like I'm doing them, or are you going to do them like the pattern? Right, and then we can set all of those aside for now. You guys let me know when you are all done, and then we will move to the next step. Oops. I'm just going to make sure I have stuff for checking my tension that's similar. I'll be fine. Hi, Anna. Oh, what are you making me for dinner? Diane's done? You'll do them like mine? Okay. It's really fast to get caught up with that, Kim. So just cut them 2 inches by 4 inches, just like the crossbody connectors. You probably cut 2 of those out already. Okay. Here. Okay. Okay, so now we are going to do our exterior pockets. So I'm going to take one of my exteriors and one of my linings. I don't know they look the same, slightly different. We're going to put them right sides together, and we are going to clip them together along this top curvy part. You can do that with both. You may as well sew them all at the same time. So the sewing for this bag is not tough. It's just a lot of pieces. So usually we would do just one side together, but I think we're going to try to get both sides done together today. So that's one of them. If you're using cotton, yes, we are using the handle anchors, Kim. That's going to cover up the raw edges. I wish I had a demo bag, but I don't, because I made this tutorial 2 years ago, so I didn't do another one. But yes, we are using the handle anchors. You'll see how they come into play here pretty quick. Okay, and then we're going to take these and we are going to sew along this curve with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, I believe it is. Yes, it is. So let's go ahead and do that. Again, I am going to chain sew them again. Tiffany. Okay, sounds good. 3/8. And try to follow the curve really good if you can with that seam allowance, because this is like the focal point of the bag and you want to have a really, really beautiful shape along it. What I love about this bag is it looks so complex, but it's really a beginner-friendly bag. It is so fast to sew. Okay, so that's one, and I'm going to just go back in to save on cutting thread. Diane, how's Florida? You got back down there safely, I see. Nice and warm. Okay, so those are done. Guys, let me know when you're there. Okay. Florida is good. Diana, are you going to be in Florida for Sew Expo next September? So I'm pulling up my pants. Sorry, I've lost a little bit of weight and my clothes are too big. Oh my goodness. Diane's ready. You don't know? Well, if you are, we'll have to meet up. I can't remember what order she puts the foam on in this. We'll probably do it my way. I sometimes go rogue on these patterns. I think they do it after. How are you making out there, Dawn? Okay, yeah. Okay, so next what we're going to do is we're going to take our pinking shears, or you can do little notches instead, and we are just going to trim that seam allowance down around that curve, so when we go to press this or finger press it, it'll end up having a nice shape. I'm going to take mine to my iron and give it a good press because I'm using cotton for the pocket. Ah, no problem, Don. Oopsies. My puppy is barking at my door. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we are going to bring these around. Right sides together, or wrong sides together. You're going to pop out those seams. Like I said, if you're using vinyl, pop them out and give it a good finger press. I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take it to the iron, and I'm going to press out those seams with my iron. So I'll put you back up to my face. So you can maybe see me doing some ironing back there. Probably not too well. So go ahead and do that. feel like I need a bigger space already. This is crazy. And I can't see what everybody's typing there. I apologize. I didn't bring my phone with me, but I'll catch up in a moment. Said if you're using vinyl, make sure you don't press it with the iron. I think everybody knows that though. So I'm rolling that seam in between my fingers to make sure it's nice and flat and even. And then just taking the iron to that seam. If you're using vinyl or if you don't want to press it like this, you can definitely hold it in place with clips. This one done. Very happy with my fussy cutting. Okay. Okay, and then once those are all pressed nicely, we're going to go ahead and we are going to top stitch carefully around this curve. Make sure both sides of like your bobbin looks good too because it'll be visible. And then you can go ahead and we can baste the other two raw edges. It's optional to baste those raw edges. You don't have to because we're going to be attaching it, but I always go through and do it. I don't know why. I just do. So let's go ahead and do that. Oops, that's not what I want. There we go. Check that my stitches look good on the back side too. I think they're okay. So I'm not using my most favorite thread, but it's the only one I had in dark brown. I can tighten it a little bit. That's better. Diane's done already. Look at her go. She's beating me. Oh, I forgot to flip my machine over to my Tiffany. I'm sorry, guys. So once again, if I had changed it over, you would see that I was chain stitching. And here I said I was going to go all the way around and I didn't do it, so I'm going to do it now. Again, you don't have to baste the other sides together. I'm just doing it. I like to work with one piece rather than having to worry about multiple layers. I just find it a little more manageable. we go. Okay, let me know when you're done. Diane, are you done this part? You're done this part? Okay. Okay, we'll give Dawn and Kim another minute or so. While we wait, if you haven't already, you can mark your centers on your front and back main pieces and the bottom centers of these pocket pieces. Another minute or two. The next thing we have to decide is if you want your front pocket to be one big pocket or two pockets. I'm going to split both of mine into two pockets. Okay, Dawn's done. We're going to move on. So again, mark your centers. Just doing all these ones. Decide which one you want to be your front panel, which one you want to be your back for the pocket, whichever one looks nicest, because this is the front here. Which one do I like the most? They look pretty darn the same. Okay, so we're going to match up that center bottom mark that we did. And you are going to notice that this is like, you can see it's like maybe just under 1/4 of an inch longer, the pocket panel, and that is what we want. If it's not, it's not a big deal, but a little bit of billow there is meant to give the pocket a little bit more give here. So clip along the bottom first. Actually, before we go too far, we should draw. Is anybody else doing these as a double pocket, or are you just doing it as a single pocket? I'm doing mine as a double pocket. So I'm going to take my chalk and I'm going to just draw my center line there right now. Where's my pen? This is just to give me a line to go down when I go to put these on, so I can make these into two pockets rather than one. You're all doing double? Okay. So mark that center line if you're doing a double, and then continue to clip. Now when you get to the sides, you're going to, as I said, just going to be over. So you're just going to kind of pinch it in. You can see how that creates a little bit of a billow here. And that's okay. That's what we want. Just makes it so it's more of a 3D pocket rather than a flat pocket. So you just see how it's a little longer here. You're just going to move it in so it's even with that exterior piece. Like so. Just to give it a slight billow. Same with the other side. Again, you can see how it's hanging over. So we're just going to kind of push it even and clip it in place. You'll do the same with the other side too. And you want to make sure you are definitely even. I'm just going to measure down 6 and 3 eighths. Yeah, and even. You can see what I mean there with about the billow? You see how it kind of billows out right here? Which is good. Now one thing we want to make sure is that we're billowed evenly, so it's good to keep a clip right at that center mark because we are going to go up there and then we'll have an even billow on each side. Does that make sense? Cocoa beans. I find it easier to look at the back to line up those edges. Okay, so I got a little bit of billow happening on each side, which is good. And then what we're going to do, if you're doing the double pocket, if you're doing a single pocket, you would just base this in place all the way around. So I have my center line here, so I'm going to base down here and around here, and then I'm going to come within 1/8 of an inch of the center line, and I'm going to go up beside it, and then I'm going to go over and then come back down that center line by another 1/8 of an inch, and that gives like a perfect spacing to put a rivet in there once we have our foam on to make it so those stitches aren't going to pull. Come back down, and it looks really pretty with the double stitching. And up this other side, and the same with the other side. So let's go ahead and do that. I'll actually remember to switch it to the machine today. That's getting in the way. And I'm coming up right where that center line is, and I'm pretty much putting my presser, that middle section of my walking foot, right up against that line because I know that's 1/8 of an inch for me. I'm going to go up straight as I can. And I'm going to try to end my stitch right in that other top stitching mark from when we did the curve, and then come over a stitch following that same line, and then back down the other side. My top stitching looking, it's looking okay, but I really don't like this thread. I need to get some almond in the dark brown. I'm going to do the same with the other panel too. Oops, I slipped a little. Perfect. We're not going to put a rivet in it just yet. We'll put a rivet in there once we have it attached to foam. Am I happy with that top stitching? Yeah, sure. Any questions, or is everything good? Tension holding. Good. Just really don't trust this thread in my tension. Holy. That looks okay. One stitch over and then back down that line again as straight as you can. You could just go straight up the center. This is just something I like to do. I think it just adds a little bit more dimension, and it looks pretty. I think it is. Dawn's done. I'm done. You beat me, Dawn. Okay. We're doing really good. We got all this done within 45 minutes already. Okay, so we're going to put the back panel aside because we're going to do the zipper next. Okay, and Diane's done. Okay, so now we want to pull out our zipper and two of our zipper lining pieces. And we're going to want to put our zipper pull on right now too for this. So I'm just going to use cut my zipper by the yard the same width as this piece. And grab my pull and my handy dandy fork. Put that pull on. You guys want to see me put the pull on? Ignore my messy floor. Let's see if I can get it on straight first try. We are racers, aren't we? It's pretty easy bag though, so just lots of steps. Nope, didn't get it first try. Didn't get it first try. This is why I usually draw on the back an inch. I'm just too lazy when it's something this small. There we go. Beautiful. Alrighty. Put you guys back where you were. Okay, so I'm going to use double-sided tape. If you want to use clips, you know you're more than welcome to use clips. Let me clear off some of this disaster here. I'm going to put my tape right along the tops of one side of these lining pieces. Where's my end? There it is. We've all done this. We know what we're doing. I didn't cut that very straight, did I? Fixed. Oops. We are not leaving the bottom of this one open. We will leave the bottom of our inside lining pocket open though, but this exterior one, no. I'm using number 5. I don't have any number 3. I always use number 5. But you can use whatever you like. Okay, so we've got one lining piece right side up. We're going to take our zipper right side up and put it right along there. And then we're going to take this to the machine and sew this with a 1/4 inch seam allowance, and then we'll attach the side at the same time while we're over there. I'm not going to worry about my zipper foot for this because it's a 1/4 inch, so I know I'll be fine. If you need to put your zipper foot on, please do so, but I'm not going to for this one. Oh, maybe I am. I am. I'm almost breaking my own rule. I always say to change into your zipper foot. I'm not going to be lazy today, so I'll change. Brandy will be good today. Yeah, I'm using number 5. There must be a huge delay there. I will always use number 5. I have very little for number 3 zipper tape. I prefer the number 5. Okay. So once that one is on, you're going to take your other one and remove the tape or the paper on the back of the tape, just like we do for our lining pockets. Now if you have an all cotton bag, of course you'd be doing this pocket different. You would be, because you wouldn't have the raw edge. We're doing a raw edge pocket here. So if you need a class on how to do a regular pocket, you guys know you can look in my Bagmakers Basics class and it'll show how to do that. Okay, and now we're going to go ahead again. That was right. We brought the lining pieces right sides together. We're going to stitch across the other side. Oopsies. We shifted. There we go. Okay. All right. So this is what we have, and I'm just going to go ahead to my iron and I'm going to give this a quick press to open up my zipper. I think that's all I need my iron for now. I'm just going to turn my iron off. And then you're just going to install this exactly like we do with the zipper overlays, where you're going to put it over top and then you're going to top stitch all the way around. Can everybody hear me okay still? So I'm just going to continue on with this because I know we all know what we're doing here. So I've got my double-sided tape on the back along the long sides of the rectangle. Take the tape off the top. I'll kind of do a quick run through exactly like we do when we're doing the zipper overlays. I'm going to put it up, make sure, but you're going to want to make sure it is perfectly centered because this is the front of the bag. You want it to look good, unless you're making it the back. You can make it whatever you like. Mine will be the front. Make sure it's perfectly centered somewhat and lying where you want it to be, nice and straight in there. Come on. It's where the double-sided tape helps because you can place it so perfectly. Not quite where I want it to be there. So I'm trying to make it so I have the same amount of the black tape showing there. All good, perfect. Okay, and then I'm going to lift it up and do the same with the bottom. I also edge coated this opening. I don't know if you guys did or not, but I did. Okay, so that looks nice and straight. Make sure your pieces are fanning out like this, and then go ahead and top stitch all the way around here, making it look nice and neat because it's going to be very visible. I'm going to pull my threads to the back like I always do because I don't want to have, I noticed in my video before I learned that skill, I had all these like back stitching things. I'm like, ah, I don't like that anymore. So let's go ahead and do that. So pulling my threads long. I hope my tension's good. I'm not back stitching. And my tension's good. Needle down to pivot. While I'm here, I'm going to pull on that bobbin thread to pull that top thread through, and we'll tie that off later. For anybody that's tuning into this later and this is a new technique for you, you can always message me and I can walk you through it. I also have a tutorial on how to do a raw edge pocket like this in my Bagmakers Basics playlist. I know everybody that's attending the class right now knows how to do this because we have done this multiple times. So that's why I just gave a very quick run through of it. Try to make this as straight as you can and as pretty as you can. I'm nervous because I'm using a contrasting thread and I usually don't do that. Ooh, it looks okay though. I'm one that likes to blend my thread because it hides your mistakes. But my client wants brown thread, so we are doing as she pleases. Ah, Dawn, didn't the bobbin get you on Thursday too? How are you making out, Kim? Just shout out if you need anything. I know you're working a little bit behind us. Okay, and then I'm going to make sure my needle ends in that first starting stitch. Not going to back stitch. I'm going to pull my threads long, holding on to them again because I want to keep track of which one is my bottom thread. Flip it over, grab that bottom thread, and pull that loop through, which will pull the top thread through. And it did. And now I'm going to tie those 4 strands off. You're coming along? Okay, perfect. Again, you're more than welcome to backstitch there if you like. This is just what I like to do. I like it to look seamless. I don't like to have a bunch up a thread in that one area, especially when you're using contrasting thread. Just shout out if you need anything, Kim. Okay, and where's my lighter? Do you have a lighter in here? Please hold. One moment. Because of the bonded thread I'm using, I like to just melt it a little bit to create a nice little hot little knot there so my threads won't come off out. And then next what we want to do, as you know, we're going to flip this down and we're going to trim up the excess that's here. Where's my scissors? just at the pocket. Don't cut into the exterior piece. And then we're going to sew those 3 sides shut. Almost ready for the zipper. Oh, you're making good time then. So I'm just going, actually I'm not going to worry about clipping it. You can clip those 3 sides if you like. I have them pretty even. So I'm just going to, remember to fold this back. Let me switch to the other camera. One sec. It might look a hot mess for a moment, but I'm going to switch over to Tommy. So let me quickly do this. Or to my Tommy camera. Oops, see? It's not in the right place. I'm going to go up like this, bringing in more. I so love that I have this longer cord. Let me just get the lighting good. All right. That shows a little bit better what I'm trying to do here. So I'm going to flip the exterior out of the way, and I'm going to sew as close as I can to the exterior without getting into the exterior. And I'm going to go over my zipper teeth a couple times just to create a little extra stop in case those stitches give away or something. And then follow that line down. And across. And then folding this up so you can see where you're going to come up again. Is that an okay angle? Is that showing everything you need to see? I have like a 10-foot cord, so this can reach over to this side of the machine. Okay, and then back up. Again, coming as close as you can to the exterior without sewing through the exterior. A couple times over the teeth. And back stitch and you're done. Come on. Split table. There we go. And then of course you can go ahead and trim up that seam allowance. So let me know when you're there and then we will move on. So it looks pretty good. We got a little bit of billow. We have a working zipper pocket. Gorgeous. I'm happy with my stitching. Then you can put these panels aside for now. We'll continue with them momentarily. Now while I'm waiting, I am going to pull out my gusset pieces. Oh no, I am going to need my iron again. I've got to turn it back on. Turn you back on. I'm just going to clean up my interfacing while you guys, okay, Diane's ready. So Diane, you can pull out both your lining gusset pieces. You've already made one of these though, I believe. I always let my interfacing sit for a few hours and I always forget to go back and cut, because I cut out the excess because I'm really sloppy when it comes to cutting out the interfacing. As long as it's bigger than the piece, I'm happy. So I can trim it out. All right. Where's those other things? Is everybody doing the vinyl tips for on the gussets? So these are the gusset ends. This is what we talked about, where we want a continuous color on the top. In the pattern, it doesn't do that. The gusset pieces are the lining fabric, but I don't want it to be that. Anything above the zipper pull or the zipper panel, I want to be all vinyl. You can do it as per the pattern. If you're doing it as per the pattern, you're not going to do what I'm going to do right now, but I think you're all doing what I'm doing. So if you're doing what I'm doing, you would have cut out 4 of these exterior pieces. But now you'll notice from what we cut out, our lining pieces are longer than our gusset pieces, or our exterior pieces. So what we want to do is, this is slightly narrower than our exterior piece, but what we want to do is make this the same length. So I'm folding it in half. Actually, you know what we could do that might be easier? Find your centers of the exterior and this one. Okay, and then we'll match up those centers. So fold it in half, wrong sides together, and find that center and make a snip. Same with this one. Probably has marks on the back already from when we drew out the vinyl ones. Okay. Then what we're going to do is we're going to lay the lining one down. We are going to match up those centers. Why doesn't that look very centered to me? No, I'm good. Because we want these to be even. So I'm using this as a template to cut off the excess. So I'm matching up those centers close I can. Again, this piece is going to be longer than this piece, but you just want to make sure they're kind of situated somewhat the same place. And then, see how there's that extra off the top? Cut off that extra, like this. And then that'll make it so we can accommodate these. Does that make sense? Okay, everybody let me know when you've done that. I'll double check my seam allowance because I don't remember what it is for these. Where are we? Okay. Let me know when you're ready. Diane's ready. We'll give everybody another minute or so. Set these aside for now. There it is center. They just don't look center to me. Now we're going to prep this for purse feet. How are you doing with that bobbin, Dawn? Okay, so next we're going to take our Deckable Heavy or Peltex or Heavy Stabilizer piece. You're going to fold it in half and you're going to clip your centers on the long sides. And then what we're going to do is you're going to match up with leaving the seam allowance 3/8 of an inch or ½ inch or whatever it is. I don't remember. Make it nice and centered. Match up kind of where your snips are and go ahead and either glue this in place. What do we do before this step is we made our lining gusset piece the same length as this gusset piece. So you cut off a chunk of it. So this is a little bit, oh, no, not really narrower. You're just going to lay them on top of each other and make them the same size. Okay, so go ahead and either glue this or tape this on, or if you don't have fusible like me, if you take a piece of medium woven or light woven interfacing, you can always make it a little bit bigger and then you can press that on it and hold it in place, whatever you like to do. So I'm going to take this to the iron and use that in place. Sure that's staying. A bit more. Okay, and now I can turn my iron off. 6 minutes to release the steam. Okay. Okay. And then we're going to install the purse feet. Where are my purse feet? Do a 4 or 5 purse feet. I'm going to do 5. 2, 3, 4, 5. What isn't my purse feet things? Just getting my purse feet ready to go for when you guys are ready. 1, 2, 4, 5. Again, the trimming of that lining gusset isn't in the pattern. That's just a me thing again. So trying to make my table look neater. Give everybody another couple minutes. Let me know when you're done. Hey Frankie, how are you? We miss you. Will you be joining us for next month's bags? These gusset ends, you will be trimming the lining piece if you're going to be using these gusset ends. If you're not using these gusset ends on the lining, then you're not trimming it. The pattern doesn't put the gusset ends on the lining, but I want it above the zipper when we get it in to all be this rather than having the lining showing up the sides. This will make it so it doesn't. So only if you're doing gusset ends for the lining. If you aren't, you'll only have 2 gusset ends, which will end up going on the exterior. Yeah, I know it's confusing at first. But trust me, it's worth it. It's a good hack. Okay, so we're moving on to purse feet because we are running out of time. So I found that my purse feet placement that I liked was I used from the vinyl, I went 1.5 up. And from the side of my Peltex or my heavy stabilizer, I went 2 inches in. And I found that this worked really, really good. So I'm going to mark all of those. So 2 inches in, 1.5 inches up. 2 inches in, 1.5 inches up. You can place them wherever you like. That's just where I found worked really good for me. I like the look of them there. 2 inches in, 1.5 up. And then I'm also going to put one right in the middle at the 2, where's my, I think it was 2.25 mark. Excellent. How is that broken wrist treating you, Frankie? My goodness. If you're doing a middle one, it is 2.25 inches. Wait. 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5.5. 2.75 inches up this way is centered-ish. So go ahead and install your purse feet. Oh, no, not good. So your left hand or your right hand, Frankie, and which one are you dominant with? How did you break it? Holy moly. I've never broken a wrist. I broke my elbow once. I've broken many toes, but never my wrist. Hopefully it heals fast. I'm so happy you joined us, though. Okay, once I have those in, I like to just give them a little bit of a quarter turn. I don't know if that makes them better. I saw Lauren do it once, and so I do it. You tripped over your suitcase getting off the plane. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, Diane, you broke your shoulder last year. Wowzers. Okay, I'm just gonna push them in, and then I'm gonna secure those prongs with some Gorilla or duct tape. I like to use the Gorilla tape because I can get it in white. Oops, I'm throwing stuff around. No housework. Well, that's too bad, hey? I obviously don't do sports or biking, so that wouldn't bother me at all. Oops, too long. Okay. So everybody let me know when you're done that. Excuse me. That's funny. But you can't sew either, so that's no good. How's everybody making out? Oh, my throat feels so dry. The air is so dry here right now. So dry. We have a very dry winter. Give it another minute or two. Where's my white pen? My desk is a hot mess. Holy moly. Okay, we're going to move on. So now, once you have your purse feet on, you're going to go ahead and you're going to grab your D-ring connectors. And from the bottom raw edge, you are going to make a 3/4 inch line across on both of them. Okay, and then on the short ends of our exterior gusset, we're going to find the centers at the top. So I'm just going to fold them in half and clip my centers, clip or mark them. Same with this side. Like that. And then what we want to do is take these D-rings, so the raw edge is going up. We're going to line up that 3/4 inch line like so, nice and centered. So that 3/4 inch line is centered at the top with 3/4 overhang on each side, and clip it in place. Like so. Same with the other side. Okay, so you have a choice. You can go ahead and baste that if you want to. I'm going to skip that step because I'm lazy. So I'm going to take 2 of my gusset ends. And you can see how it kind of goes up like this. It's the longer side. You're going to put right sides together, and you're going to be sandwiching that connector in between. And clip it in place. Add it into the clips, making sure your connector is staying where it needs to be. And do the same with the other side. And at the same time, I'm going to take my lining gusset piece and do the same thing, but we don't have the connectors in them. So I'm going to line it up and clip it in place, right sides together. I obviously cut mine. You will find, because of how we cut it, that these are going to look like they're a little bit too wide. That's okay. See how it's just a little bit, but that's just because of how we cut it, and we can match that up in a moment. It'll get caught in the seam allowance and it won't matter. Okay, and then we're going to go across here. I believe it's with 1/4 inch. Oops. Yeah, with 1/4 inch seam allowance down both on all 4 of those sides. I guess I have it on this one, so we're going to go back to this camera. may need your hump jumper. Where's my hump jumper? Because depending on what your connector is, it may be a little bit thick there. Going across. Oh, I didn't change my thing out yet, but that's okay. Still my zipper fit on, but it still works. So 1/4 of an inch is what we're doing here. Okay, I don't need my hump jumper. I got over just fine. I might need it to come down though. No, I'm good. Sweet. I'm going to bring my other side around and do the same thing. Like so. Again, I'm just making it so I don't have to cut my thread. I'll cut it after. How's everybody making out? I'm working you hard today. Okay, so that's the exterior done. I'm going to do the lining. Okay, and we are going to have to top stitch this. I'll take these back to the table so I can show you what we are doing. Okay, so when we go to top stitch this, we want to press the seam down towards the gusset, and it's going to put the connector, make it so the connector points up like this, which is exactly what we want. And then we're going to go ahead and we are going to top stitch through the gusset. Same with this other side, so that'll have the seam pointing down towards the purse feet, and you'll do the same on the lining ones. So you're going to push that seam down and top stitch along there. Again, if it looks a little bit off right here, that's okay. We will trim that up. Just like that. So go ahead and top stitch those ones. And I'm actually going to take a moment and I'm going to switch back to the other machine. Let me flip a few buttons here. Did that work? I just got to fix her lighting now. Don't know why my program is not hanging on. There we go. Okay, so now I'm going to top stitch that. How's everybody making out? I see the chat's really quiet. Can you guys all hear me? Excuse me. Okay, and then I'm going to top stitch through there. I hope you guys can hear me. I think you're all just busy sewing. Exterior done. Okay, so give everybody about 5 minutes to get caught up. And then we're going to do the interfacing. You can hear me? Thank you, Kim. Excuse me. Oh, my throat is so dry. All right. I know you're going to want to install rivets right now. We're not going to do that just yet. You'll see why here momentarily. So the lining piece, make sure they're the same size. If you have it hanging over a little bit, like you can see here, it's a little longer, just go ahead and trim it up following the line of the gusset. Just a little bit. You put this piece aside. Another 3 minutes or so. I'm gonna go grab my phone. Excuse me. Now the next thing we're going to do is put the foam onto our gusset and our exterior main panels. And you're probably thinking, but we haven't done the handle connectors yet, or the overlays. That's because I want to have the stability of the foam sewn behind that, just so I know the handles are going to stay good. So we will do that after we have basted all of this to foam. How's everybody making out? Any questions? Another minute. No, it's 1/4 of an inch, I think. Yeah, 1/4 of an inch. Right here. So with a 1/4 inch seam allowance as pictured. The seam allowances in this pattern do kind of go all over the place. Just I think we're going to be working with a 1/2 inch seam allowance as well. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead now, and I'm just going to use my actual pieces. Is it going to fit this way? Of course not. On my foam to cut my foam. Oh my goodness, I think somebody's home. Or I have an Amazon order. It's too dark for me to see again. No, it's somebody walking. Okay. So I'm going to go, again, your gusset piece and your 2 exterior pieces. And this is how I always cut out my foam. I always use my pieces as my template. Now, another option that she does have in the pattern is you can use Decovil outside of the seam allowances instead of foam if you prefer. I'm a foam girl. I prefer a loftier bag. And I always have bad luck with using Decovil. I find it pulls away when I do a turned bag. So I always go for foam. But if you prefer to do foam or to do Decovil, definitely do it. Just make sure you are cutting them outside of the seam allowances before you fuse it on. Any questions? Making sense? I said it's just a lot of pieces, but it is a pretty fast bag to do. If you are using a rotary cutter like me, make sure you keep your fingers out of the way. Ask me how I know. So that's done. Let me get the other pieces. I hear my dog running up and down the stairs. I don't know if that's a good or bad thing. Dexter likes to play fetch with himself down the stairs. Throws his ball down and gets it and goes back upstairs and does that over and over all day long. How's everybody making out? So for time purposes, I'm actually only going to cut the foam for all of these, but I'm only going to baste one exterior main panel because I want to really get through the next step so everybody could do the rest for homework. But I am going to cut out all my foam. I'm just only going to baste one panel for now. I'll baste the rest off camera. So if you are doing foam right now, even if you're falling behind, even just get the foam onto one main panel. So you can sew along with me this next part and you can baste the rest later. But I am going to cut it all now just because I have it here. Make sure your pocket is down for this. Oh yay, Brady's home. So I'm going to be working with the front panel. Coco's saying hi to Brady. Does anybody else do their foam this way? Just using your panel for your template? Hello? I thought somebody's knocking at my door. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and I'm just going to baste the one panel now. I will do the other panels later. Another thing that will be homework, and I'll remember to write all this down, is our connectors here on the side. Now that we have the foam on, you're going to want to put a rivet down here and a rivet possibly right here for extra security. So riveting your crossbody connectors will be homework, as well as basting the rest of the foam. Okay. So I got about 3 minutes to get this done, because then I need at least 20 minutes to show you guys the next step. I'm actually going to go ahead and change out my zipper foot to my standard foot. How's everybody making out? Excuse me. Good. Okay. So about 3 minutes to get one of the panels onto foam, so I can show you guys what we're going to do with the handle overlay connectors and the handles and the connectors. I think my client's going to like this bag. It's turning out really nice. She did have a good eye. I was a little concerned with the teal, but I think it's going to be really pretty. And look, I ran our bobbin. Better now than when I'm top stitching, right? So I always wind 3 bobbins per project. And I always have them on the go for when I do run out. Okay. Excuse me. Okay, where's everybody at? Okay. Okay, so I'm going to put these away. I'll do them for homework. Write down homework so I don't forget. Give everybody a couple minutes and then we will move on. We got one more thing to do. Well, it's kind of like 2 things in one. Excuse me. Another minute or so. pieces. Those would be handles. Or are they my overlays? Handle. That must be my overlays. Okay. Oh no, Dawn, can you? I said you could always do your gusset as well as your ends separate. Okay, Kim. You know what I mean? You can use scraps for the gusset ends and then sew them together that way, but I think you've already sewn it all together, so. Uh-oh. Okay. So now we're going to take our overlay. You will do the same, or if, I think she calls it the handle connector. This is the right one, yeah. And then, Dawn, come on over. I have lots of foam. You can borrow some. We have our center line down the middle. Just like we do when we make regular connectors, we're going to fold the long edges into the center. Double-sided tape really helps here, especially if you're using vinyl, because you're not going to be able to put pins in it. Okay. Fold those in. And you're going to do the exact same thing with the opposite side, but I'm only going to do the one side with you here. Frank can foam some stuff, Done. Sew some foam together. Okay, so then you end up having something like this. Now, I'm going to use double-sided tape again on each end of the wrong side. You want to make sure it doesn't go over, but really, this is going to help it stay in place. If you're on a domestic, use Dritz Wash Away Wonder Tape here, because it's a lot more domestic machine friendly if your machine does not like double-sided tape. Okay, I got to get my measurement here because I do not remember. Bear with me for a moment. Where does she do it? I kind of jump all over the place. I apologize for that. Okay, here we go. Excuse me. So, from this top edge, we want to measure down 1 3/4 of an inch, and I'm just going to place my ruler there, and that is going to be my line. And you're just going to remove the bottom side of the paper here. And the top side that still has the tape on, you're going to line that up with your ruler, and then you're going to press that tape down. So you have the top still can flop forward, but we have this bottom taped down, and make sure it's exactly 1 3/4 inches from the top. And now we're going to top stitch just through the bottom part here with 1/8 of an inch seam allowance. Okay, does that make sense? So the top part isn't glued, just that bottom part. This is 1 3/4 of an inch down. So, Tiffany, I'm going to quickly make sure my tension is good, because I switched bobbins. Yeah, it's good. She's beautiful. Excuse me, I have this dry cough since having COVID. I just can't, and it only acts up at night, and it starts right about now. It's driving me crazy. Okay. So this is why, I think in the pattern, she does the foam after this, but I like how this gives this, because this is actually going to be holding our connectors in place, or the handles. And I find the foam just gives it a little bit more to grab onto. My stitches, are they looking good? They're looking pretty good. Probably loosen up a bit. Oh, that looks so pretty. She did have a good vision. Okay. So everybody, let me know when you're ready for the next. Oh my gosh, we only have 13 minutes left. We've almost got everything I want to get done though, so this is good. Okay, I remember now. I have a little ruler. Let's give you guys another minute or so. I'm sorry for the coughing. I'm remembering now. Okay. Yeah. Done? Perfect. Okay. So now what we want to do is see where our little scoopy thing is, this high point here. That is where we want this lined up with. So you're going to take your connector, you're going to fold this down, and you want to butt this right up against that seam right there. So the bottom of the connector is along that seam, but you want to make sure that this lines up with that corner. And I'm good there. Now, that's hard to hold in place, so I am going to use some double-sided tape on the bottom of this, just on the very bottom edge. Where's my thicker tape? There it is. Just because I have nothing that I can clip it to. And on this bottom edge, you are not going to be sewing through the double-sided tape. So just on the bottom here. Same with the other one. And I'm actually going to take my ruler and use it as a guide there. So I'm putting it right up against that, just so I know I'm getting my connector perfectly straight. Okay. And I'm going to butt this right up against that seam as far down as it'll go. Use my ruler as a nice straight guide, like that. And you're going to do the same on the other side. So, just like that. And we're going to butt it right up. Make sure they're about the same height, and they are. Now we're going to have to be careful when we actually sew these and make sure those are down like that. So once you have those in place where you want them to be and that they're nice and straight, you're going to take the tape off of this top part again, and you're going to press it down like that, and then we're going to top stitch through this top part. Okay. Right over the connector. Use a hump jumper if you need to, depending how thick your materials are. And that's why this piece is called the handle connectors, because if you weren't doing the flop down things, you'd be actually sewing your handles in right here. And you would do the exact same thing with the other main panel. Okay, so this is what it looks like. Again, when we're actually sewing the bag together, we're going to end up having to be really careful. I mean, I think we're doing it with a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance, so there's more than enough room, but making sure we don't catch our hardware there. So this is where, for homework, you will do this as well, is you are going to install a rivet here. Well, you can decide if you want to. I'm going to install a rivet right in the middle of this band, here and here, as well as up here and here on both sides. And then right in the center of this band is where I'm going to put my nameplate. But you can decide, well, if you want to put your nameplate on the pocket, it's too late. You'd have to undo the basting stitches and just do on the exterior. But the nameplate looks so pretty right in the middle of this band. Does that make sense? So homework is going to be base the foam, do your handle connector overlays, do your rivets for all 6 connectors, install your nameplate if you're doing that, as well as do your lining pockets, how you are going to do them. So your zipper pocket, which for those of you that have never done a zipper overlay like we're going to do, it's done pretty much in the exact same fashion that we did this one, except for you have an overlay on top, and there is a tutorial for that. And you can also message me if you need more of a walkthrough on how to do that. But yeah, and then we'll be doing the lining and the exterior construction together. It goes so fast, and then putting it together, and hopefully we will be done for next class. I think we can do it. So yes, so baste your foam, the rest of your foam, do your handle overlays, do your rivets, your nameplates. Again, rivets are optional. I prefer them because I find it gives it a little extra stability, and nothing will pop. Put in your nameplate if you're doing that. And of course your lining slip pocket and zipper pocket. Does that work for everybody? Any questions or concerns? It's been a quiet group. I worked you hard and fast today. No chit chat today. Mainly because I'm trying to make up for time. Oh, and look, that thing's hanging down. This is my light switch for my lamp. And for some reason, it likes to hang right in front of my camera. Any questions before we go? Will do. It's pretty easy, hey? It's just a lot of pieces, but super easy. That's one thing that's great about Sew Yours is her patterns really are amazing patterns. They look really complicated, but they're really not at all. So, and I'm pleased that my client bag is going to be really pretty because I wasn't sure. But I think it's looking pretty good. So remember to back your rivets with scraps of heavy stabilizer. And yeah. You doing okay? Okay, Kim. So yes, you know, if you have any questions, feel free to message me on Facebook or through email, and I can help you through it. But yeah, I think we have touched all of these. Tuesday's class is kind of the more advanced because we do both classes and everything. So I think you guys got this. What do you guys think so far? Are you liking it? Good night, Diane. I guess we'll talk soon, I'm sure. All right, everybody, I'm going to go and make supper. Again, if there's any questions about the homework, please do let me know. Oops, I'm losing stuff. I think the homework will take maybe half-hour tops. It's not that much homework, so you should be okay. And then I will see most of you on Thursday for the companion carpet bag. We'll be finishing that up. We're so close to being done there. So looking forward to putting in that frame. Not really, but anyways, thank you everybody for coming and sewing along with me. And again, reach out if you need anything, and I will catch you guys later. Have a great night. Bye.